All right, y'all, Surge 1K with another video today. Today is just going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go over some of the key features of the 2024 BMW S1000rr. Been wanting to make this video for a minute now, and I've put on, I want to say roughly close to 500 miles on the bike. So I thought it would be a good time to do that before I actually step into, unlocking it and doing my first service. So we're going to start here, point out some of the cool features that they've added, and then just my overall opinion on the bike so far. So really just an amazing looking bike. We got the 2024 S1000 in the passion red colorway. I know at first whenever I was looking at one of these bikes, I was actually looking at the M1000 colorway, but I figured I want to eventually wrap this one and give it its own look. Hopefully, sometime in the future. But I figured if I'm going to do that, why spend a little extra? Well, it was a lot extra money on, just the look of it. So ended up going with this one. I picked it up in Houston, Texas at Team Mancuso Power Sports, I believe. They were really cool over there. They, were able to get me this bike at the price that I wanted to pay. And on top of that, just throwing a little bit of extras that, come in handy whenever it comes to, owning a bike. So I know just off of appearance, the bike is pretty similar to the 2023 version. That's whenever they started incorporating these wings, which I think put a really nice touch onto the bike and just make it look even more aggressive than it is. So, I'm really enjoying, the look of that. Also just like, the sleek look of it. A lot of the 1000cc bikes are starting to put those wings on them, and I really do like it. I know they have like performance features with it as well, for aerodynamics and just the rideability of the bike. So really cool features there. We're going to start from there, kind of work our way back. So right here, the one that I got is the premium package, passion red. So it comes with the heated grips right here. So whenever it gets a little bit colder, we can throw those on. I heard those work really well. And then it does come with cruise control, so I'm able to swap that in. Whenever I'm riding, I can throw on that cruise control and not have to worry about, holding on to the throttle or whatnot. But I haven't got to use that yet because they said not to use it before the break-in period. So I'm really just waiting on that. As you can see right here, looks like I'm at 444 miles on it. I did buy the bike with only 3 miles on it. So straight off the lot, they took care of me with that. Made sure that, they kind of ran through what I needed to do as the owner, as far as making sure that I am maintaining it. And, when it comes to that break-in period, some of the things that I should be doing, some of the things that I should not be doing. So, huge shout out to them to, let me have a list of those things and really help me out whenever it comes to, owning a brand new bike. I've never had this before. So anyways, let's go ahead and go into some of these settings that we have right here. So cool thing about the S1000 is they have this wheel that pretty much controls everything, as far as like the display right here. So you can go into the menu by just pressing down right there. It's going to show you your vehicle. It's going to show you all the things like your temperature. You got your PSI for your both tires, front and back. You got your battery voltage and the gas that's left in your tank right now. And then I believe you can also, so with this, you can scroll left and right. So that's going to show you your onboard computer. It's going to show you your journey and all that, your average speed. You got your range. Same thing right here, trip 2. They have a screen just dedicated to your tire pressure, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they actually have that feature, because I always want to make sure that you're riding at a appropriate tire PSI, just to be safe. And then also right here they have the when your service is due, so pretty cool there. They always just remind you of those things. All right, so they have your My Vehicle. You can go over to the right. It's going to have a sport tachometer, so it's pretty cool here. You have your traction control right there on the left side. You also have your braking on the right side, so how much pressure you're actually putting onto the brake whenever you're riding. Same thing here. We have your max lean angles from left and right, so I thought that was pretty cool. Furthest I've been able to get it down is 27 degrees, so I haven't tried to go past that, but we'll see how far I can take it. And then I believe this is more for like the track, so it tracks your lap and everything, which is pretty cool. You can use the app to load in different maps, and then from there it actually tracks how fast you complete a lap. And then this is just like another version of the actual, tachometer. It's not like the typical one that you see where it's just a semicircle, but pretty cool there. I think you can go a little bit deeper here. Okay, so yeah, it just has your lap timer. We're gonna scroll up. You got your navigation here. It is a turn-by-turn navigation, so it doesn't really show the map on here, which I thought would be pretty cool if they did that instead of having a turn-by-turn. You got your media right here and your telephone, so you can connect your phone onto here, and you're able to skip through your songs. You can actually see what song is playing. I haven't set it up yet, so it's not showing anything. And then settings right here, same thing. You go through, and let's see, assist. So that's just your dampening. You can always adjust that to what you want to do. That's your race, road, dynamic. Really just depends on how you want to ride. Same thing here. We have riding mode selection. So pretty cool here. You can actually switch through different ride modes. Right now I have the rain, dynamic, race, and race pro. Which is super cool. Once you start getting into these like lower, categories, you can actually configure them, which is pretty crazy here. So you have your engine configuration, engine brake, traction control. You have the wheelie control, and then ABS. You can actually go through those and configure them as you'd like, make it custom to how you ride, which is a super cool feature on that, especially once you start taking the bike onto the track. RDC, I'm not too sure what that is. You got your lights, so that the warning lights. HSC Pro, not too sure what that is. Lap timer, shift light, so you can actually have the shift light blinking at you whenever you're close to that red line. Pretty cool. Pit lane limiter, that's just for when you're on the track. Sorry, we're gonna go back into that. And then you got your connections right here, system settings. Let's see, just regular day and time, display. You can change the display brightness. You can show, different things such as like the speed limit info. You can show your fuel tank, level, distance. Pretty cool. And then information, yeah, just your licenses and softwares for the actual screen. So if I got to show, one of probably my favorite parts about this bike is the halos right here. They look super clean. They kind of mimic the BMW cars with the headlights. Super cool. They look super nice at nighttime. I'll show you both of them. Pretty clean. Now this is, obviously a 1000cc bike. I want to say the power output is around 205 horsepower. And then, really just an amazing looking bike overall. It has things like the electronic suspension, so you got that right there. We have the one that came with the Akrapovic sport muffler. So this is something that I'm definitely going to change, hopefully within the next 2 months. We got the big cat right here. It still sounds pretty nice without it, but it's very restricted with it. So, and another thing that I personally have been needing to get used to more, and I have, within the last, few weeks that I've been riding this, was the quick shifter right here. So BMW has the quick shifters on there where, you don't have to pull in the clutch whenever it comes to shifting and, upshifting, downshifting. And it has that auto blipper on it as well, so you're not having to, rev match whenever you do downshift, which I think is a pretty cool feature. I mean, it sounds super nice too. Really do enjoy having that. Another thing that the bike came with is the M Endurance chain, and then the wheels are the M Performance wheels on there with the Brembo brakes. That's super cool right there. I like that little branding. Very nice. But yeah, overall, I mean, I would definitely recommend this bike to anyone that is, looking for a upgrade from, a 600 or a 750. There are some people that, want to get a 1000 for their first bikes, but I would say, if you are going to do that, definitely look into a S1000, just because of how safe they feel. I think with the brakes that it has, the dual disc rotors, just the safety features that it has, like the modes that you can change to when it's raining. You can go from, rain to dynamic to race while you're actually riding. So, it's pretty cool that you have those options. I will say the bike is super tall. So I'm about 5'11", and I barely flat foot the bike. So if you're on like, a ledge that's, a little bit higher, or, if you're, on a flat surface, you'll definitely feel how tall that bike is. Obviously that's something that you can, change out the suspension and get it lowered for your comfortability. But yeah, I mean, really just enjoying the bike. Definitely super glad that I actually went with a, S1000. Before I was in the market for, GSXR 1000s. I think that was probably like the only other bike that I would have got other than this. But, really thought about it, and, why not start off with getting a crazy 1000 like this. Super nice. I'm gonna go ahead and put a sound clip right here. We'll set it up real quick and let you guys hear it. Again, it has the cats on it still, so it's nothing too crazy, but you know, still sounds nice. All right, so right now I have the DJI Mic Mini just hooked up to, you know, this little piece of metal right here, just so that it's closer to the exhaust. You guys can actually hear it, but I'm gonna go ahead and start it up right now. All right, y'all, that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, really just wanted to do a walk around of the bike, show you guys some of the key features of, you know, the 1000. But, you know, go ahead and leave a like and a subscribe down below. You know, it's just something that's going to help out the channel and, you know, hopefully bring more riders into the community. You know, again, really, that's just what this is for. To, you know, share my experience as a rider, and then also, you know, if I can bring somebody else into bike community, you know, that'd be great. But yeah, go ahead and just, you know, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, and on to the next video.